When you think of museums, you often imagine the traditional form of museums. But there are some different and interesting museums in the United States. And in this article, we review 10 of these unique museums that have documented the strange and unusual and offered unparalleled experiences. Abita Mystery House. Abita Mystery House is located in Abita Springs, Louisiana, close to New Orleans. And this museum is represented by the old saying that one man's waste is another man's treasure, where the museum's founder John Preble got the idea of the mysterious house during rock collection trips. You will not only find rocks in this museum, but also bottles, bottle caps, license plates, engines, pottery pieces, and everything. The museum has grown to include many individual collections, memorabilia, and vintage arcade games, and is suitable for Louisiana. If you can't get to the New Orleans area anytime soon to see the exotic things for yourself, many YouTubers have documented the unique experience of visiting Abita Mystery House. American Sign Museum. The American Sign Museum in Cincinnati, Ohio offers 20,000 square feet of indoor space dedicated to signs and the history of signage making. Their website claims to have the largest such exhibit in the United States. From familiar red neon signs to McDonald's storefront signs, all types of signage are represented in the museum's collection. Vent Haven Museum. Your enjoyment of this museum will ultimately depend on whether you are comfortable with the hundreds of dolls staring at you over the course of 40 years. A collection of everything related to dolls has been collected. Since staring at dolls worries many people, it is not surprising that some claim that the place is haunted, with one reviewer describing it as the most feared museum in the world, the Museum of Death. If dolls aren't a big problem for you, there may be something darker and more realistic. The Death Museum. The Death Museum houses the world's most comprehensive collection of serial killer artwork, antique funerary events, funeral tools, and detectives, according to their website. Reports from past visitors list some of the harrowing exhibits, such as actual photos of scenes from the crimes of Charles Manson and Black Dahlia, photos from the morgue, and videos of real deaths and autopsies. Layla's Hair Museum. The Layla Poetry Museum is located in the Kansas City, Missouri independent suburb and claims to be the only one of its kind in the world, and this seems quite believable. In 1956, the museum's founder and beauty school owner Layla Cohon was visiting an antique dealer and discovered a 6'6" gold frame with a wreath of human hair. From here began this hobby that eventually led her to the creation of a poetry museum of the same name. What exactly is the art of poetry? The category includes a variety of objects made from human hair, including wreaths, bouquets, and jewelry. The art of poetry has a long history, as its popularity peaked in the 19th century, in a time before photography was widespread. Keeping the hair of family and friends and then taking art out of it was seen as a way to remember the deceased. It is also a way to record different hairstyles over the years. The Layla Poetry Museum is credited with reviving this art. CIA Museum. The CIA initials are familiar to most people because they represent the CIA. The CIA Museum is located at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, and as such, it is not open to the public, but the museum collects more than 3,500 declassified artifacts that are available for online viewing or can be sent to public exhibitions elsewhere. The museum was the brainchild of former CIA Executive Director William Colby. In 1972, Colby had the idea of sharing unique items. Among these items, spy tools, weapons, and spy memorabilia that one might expect from the interesting world of international spies. So unless you get high-level government clearance to set foot in the CIA, you won't visit the museum and see this wonderful collection in person. However, you can always check out the current list on museum location Voodoo Historical Museum of New Orleans. Technically, voodoo is a term often used to refer to many different religions and cultural practices, but there is no doubt that New Orleans is the city most associated with it. The Voodoo Museum of Historical in New Orleans tries to demystify things with a statement posted on the site that says, "We take all the mysteries, secrets, history, and folklore of rituals and zombies, putting it all in one place in the heart of New Orleans' French Quarter." A visit to the museum will help you understand how voodoo made its way into New Orleans through the 18th century slave trade and how it then merged with Catholic concepts. Creating the unique mix that is New Orleans voodoo may seem like a scary topic to explore, but the focus is more didactic than exciting. The Museum of Questionable Medical Devices in St. Paul, Minnesota was officially closed in 2002, but the name alone is enough to tell you that this is a private collection that is still worth exhibiting. So the Museum of Science of Minnesota chose it as an exhibition. This makes it somewhat a museum within a museum. The items on display range from questionable or dangerous devices. The museum displays many examples of medical sorcery, allowing you to look at how humans have tried to remedy their shortcomings over the years, as it will make you grateful to live in the era of the most advanced medicine. The Spear Hunting Museum. If you live in an area where hunting is popular, you are familiar with the different seasons of bow and arrow and rifle hunting. But do you remember the last time it was the javelin fishing season? In this museum, you can know everything about him. The Spear Hunting Museum is a unique experience and is considered the home of the greatest pike hunter in recorded history, Jane Morris. Morris recorded 592 catches, which is impressive given that he did not start spearfishing until the age of 40, while the focus is on Morris and his exploits. A visit to the museum provides a good education about spearfishing itself.